Yeah, in fact, I can probably put these down lower because no one's as tall as I am. So I'm sure you can hear that, and you can hear that, and you can probably even hear that. So should be about centered, about chest high. People can move it up and down. Yeah, that should be good. Tighten these up. Hello, hello. Sunday night they all have to go to dinner at her apartment. After they go to church, then they'll go to her place.
let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God. Let us pause in remembrance for the victims of the Robb Elementary School shooting and their families. Lord God, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to gather today to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2022. Over the last 4 years, you've guided us through the many high and low points of our high school careers. Despite the physical separation of the pandemic, you gave us an unforgettable experience that led to close friendships and led us to grow into the men before you today. You gave us the strength to be there for one another as we mourn the death of our dear brother Blake. You have opened our hearts to the love of our classmates and forged us into the impenetrable brotherhood. Lord, we thank you for all the talents and motivation that you have given us that allowed us to achieve great things on the field, in the classroom, and on stage. We have been helped along this journey by our faculty, who have devoted their time to creating the most well-rounded men possible, by our classmates, who have helped create a brotherhood that gives each of us the ability to learn in a positive environment, and finally, our parents, who have given us the support we needed through unconditional love and support. As we prepare to move on from LaSalle, we ask you for guidance and support in helping us find our way in life. No matter where it brings us, always help us to be there for one another and maintain the strong bonds that we have formed over the last 4 years. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen. St. John Baptist de LaSalle, live Jesus in our hearts. Forever. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning. Brother James, Mr. Fike, the faculty and staff, members of the Board of Trustees, family and friends, and especially to my brothers before me, the class of 2022. It is an honor and a privilege to speak here on your behalf. It is surreal that we find ourselves here at the final step of our LaSalle journey. We may return to the campus, but it will never be the same as when we set foot on it today. In August of 2018, we entered the doors of LaSalle mostly as strangers to one another. We were met by the energetic explorer and the far more energetic Mr. Cheech leading the band as they played the alma mater. As we settled into our homerooms, we were given a crash course on everything LaSalle. We learned everything there is to know about LaSalle on our cross-campus scavenger hunt. The monuments, the classrooms, the teachers, and of course, the dress code. Seems many of us may have been overwhelmed and missed some of the dress code instructions. I believe the most valuable lesson was drilled into us by the seniors who came into our homerooms. Get involved. And get involved we did. Whether it be athletes pushing the limits in their chosen sport, members of the choir, speech and debate, the band, lab managers, intramural sports, you name it. Whatever our chosen passion, we each found our place at LaSalle. One of the most unique things about LaSalle is that everyone's individual talents are admired and appreciated rather than being judged based upon what is to be perceived as more important or flashier. We are a cohesive unit who rallies behind each other no matter what the endeavor. I often hear LaSalle parents remark that their sons are happy to leave for school every morning. They more than likely attribute our happiness to LaSalle's top-of-the-line resources and facilities, dedicated faculty, championship-winning teams, an award-winning band, things that anyone from the outside looking in can see. Gentlemen, let's let everyone here know the secret behind what we love so much about this place. It is the brotherhood and satisfaction of going to school each and every day with young men you can count on today, tomorrow, and for the rest of our lives. The diploma that we are about to receive does not just say who we were educated by, but also who we were educated with. Just as we all live with Jesus in our hearts forever, I am also certain that we will make sure to keep a space in our hearts for one another as well. This brotherhood fostered by LaSalle has helped build an exceptionally important characteristic: resilience. We certainly could be considered the resilient class of 2022. In March of our sophomore year, the world came to a screeching halt, and we were forced to attend school from home rather than come to our second home that we had all grown to love and look forward to entering each day. Thankfully, the administration had us up and running within days. We are all grateful for the long hours that they must have invested to prevent any gaps in our education. The fall semester saw even more effort in bringing us back for in-person instruction. While many institutions of higher education were content to sit back and rely on the virtual classroom, that certainly was not the case here at LaSalle. The faculty and administration aggressively got us back to in-person learning as much as possible every step of the way. Rather than caving in the face of doubt and uncertainty, the administration, faculty, and staff were the ultimate example of the importance of resilience during uncertain times. I had my very own personal lesson in resilience my freshman year. My grade school video game habit had caught up with me, and I ended up scoring a 37 on an algebra test. Let's just say a 37 on a math test is a very long way from standing up here today giving this speech. Nietzsche famously stated that which does not kill us makes us stronger. Well, Nietzsche should have seen my father's face when he opened up the portal to find a 37. I went to Mr. Quinn pleading my case for a way to make up my catastrophic score. Mr. Quinn was about as sympathetic as you can all imagine. He explained to me that I had the rest of the semester to improve my grade. Rather than treating me like a boy, he treated me like a man and forced me to develop resilience as I battled my way back. The growth that I received from this experience is immeasurable. LaSalle has prepared us for the trials and tribulations of the world that we are about to enter. There will be times when we become overwhelmed, defeated, and will face failure. It is inevitable. Our LaSallian education has conditioned us to rise to the occasion. Every one of us has been forced during our 4 years to fight our way out of a situation, whether it be inside or outside of the classroom. The only solace of hitting rock bottom is that it can often be a great foundation for success. Resilience is truly realizing that failure is simply a course correction on the path to success, just as Mr. Quinn. The interesting thing about life is that it is relative. We thought that a poor test score, wearing masks, and hybrid schedules were inconveniences and difficulties in our lives. Then, great tragedy struck when we lost our classmate, Blake Barklage. I had the privilege and the blessing of being a leader on what would have been Blake's Kairos. I only wish that his family could have had a lens into our Kairos to see the tremendous impact that their son and brother had on the entire community in his 3.5 years here at LaSalle. There's no better example of resilience than watching his friends and family continue to honor his memory. The most poignant image was watching the driveway lined with the men of LaSalle, shoulder to shoulder, as they brought Blake home to LaSalle one last time for his funeral. In solidarity, we are reminded that without the passion of Good Friday, one cannot experience the joy of Easter. It is easy to see that Blake's family and the entire LaSalle community will forever be affected by his premature passing. I'm also certain that the LaSalle class of 2022 has a guardian angel watching over us from heaven who will never be forgotten. Now the question is, what do we do with all of this resilience that has been taught to us over the last 4 years? We must apply it and use it on whichever unique path that each of us chooses. One of the greatest gifts of the Catholic faith is the sacrament of reconciliation. Reconciliation forces us to examine how we are living our lives. Slowly but surely, with subtle repetition, LaSalle has led us to focus on how we are living on a daily basis. It is ingrained into our subconscious. True resilience is built as we perpetually analyze how we are living. The most valuable aspect of having this permanently ingrained into our lives by LaSalle is that it will always be with us, bolstering our mental toughness, especially in our darkest and most important times. Allow me to share with everyone a few of these LaSalle College High School lessons which will maintain our resilience and resolve in the face of any storm. We will experience triumphs and tragedies just like we have during these 4 years. Struggles can be our strengths when we embrace them rather than cover them up. When we face challenges, it is vital we do not do it alone. One only has to look quickly around this gallery to realize that we are all fortunate enough to be anything other than alone. We all have the potential to succeed, but do we have the nerve to fail and to depend on our support? There is no substitute for hard work. It's easy to confuse movement with progress. We must move forward in clear and consistent ways. LaSalle has taught us to set goals on this path forward. These goals require discipline and consistency. St. John Baptist de LaSalle stated, "Remember that God is with you and will help and inspire you in all that you do." Do not let this inspiration go to waste. Admiral William McRaven, once the longest tenured Navy SEAL commander, famously told SEALs as they finished their BUDS training, "I'm fine if you aim high and miss, but we are going to have a real problem if you aim low and hit." Dream big. Do not play small ball. There is a reason we go after the biggest and baddest on our athletic schedules here at LaSalle. We have guys winning debate championships. Our band is recognized across the state. Our college list rivals the top high schools in the country. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17 states, "Iron sharpens iron." Pushing each other every day for the last 4 years has led us to be the best versions of ourselves. We have been encouraged to strive for greatness every step of the way. Nelson Mandela said that there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than you are capable of living. The only thing that we should ever fall back on is our faith. We all have that person here at LaSalle that has pushed us to be the best versions of ourselves and to dream big. Take a moment to think about who or one or more of those people have been for you. Of course, our parents and guardians have believed in us, or else they wouldn't have ponied up for us to attend LaSalle. Be grateful. Prayers of petition are easy and tempting. Prayers of thanks are equally, if not more important. Go back to that person you just thought of that encouraged you to aim high. Make sure to thank them. Make sure to thank your family for putting you in a position to succeed. We each have the power to create our own path. Do it the right way. The value of having principles is that decisions become easy. You do not have to think each time you make a choice if you follow your principles. Make certain to keep your eyes open for the presence of God along the journey. Give to others and inspire others. It will pay it forward and go on to inspire more people. the ripple effects will be exponential. Have courage to do what is right and not what is easy. One only has to watch the young men board a van headed for a homeless outreach on a cold Tuesday night to realize the men of LaSalle have been led to choose what is right over what is easy. Fallen hero and fellow LaSalle alumnus Travis Mannion powerfully stated that, if not me, then who? Turn towards the problems that you see rather than away from them. Be loyal. Never forget where you came from or how you got to where you are going. If you ever forget what loyalty means, think of hundreds of young men lining the driveway in support of a family and community experiencing unthinkable grief. I will end this speech with a lesson that has been most repeatedly ingrained into our hearts, the same way we end all things at LaSalle. It's the most important guidance we will ever receive towards being resilient. Live Jesus in our hearts forever. Thank you.
The class of 1972 produced one of the most memorable blue and gold yearbooks. It is immediately recognizable on the shelf, its contents both individualistic and iconoclastic. It speaks to their times and the distinctiveness of their class, and most importantly, to the bonds and the brotherhood that they formed as students at LaSalle College High School. Over the past half century, those bonds have grown, and they have all distinguished themselves in their own right. On this, the golden anniversary of their graduation, I am honored to present to you the class of 1972. Gentlemen, please stand and be recognized.
Good morning. Yesterday, the administration and department chairs had the honor of awarding departmental medals of achievement. Those awards are found in your program. Today, I have the honor of announcing the Special School Awards. The LaSalle College High School Award and $500 grant for the senior with the second highest scholastic average for 4 years is awarded to two young men who have identical GPAs, Joshua Lloyd and Alexander Sorgini. The LaSalle College High School Highest Academic Average Award and $500 grant for the senior with the highest scholastic average for 4 years, supported by the Robert S. Blasey Family Trust, goes to Eric Fryer. The Men of LaSalle Loyalty Medal and $500 grant is awarded to Samuel Perry. The First Lieutenant Travis J. Mannion, United States Marine Corps, Class of 1999 Memorial Medal and $500 grant for for the Senior Scholar Athlete is awarded to Gavin Brook. The LaSalle College High School Alumni Association Award and $500 grant to the graduating senior who has best embodied the principles of loyalty, commitment, generosity, and camaraderie goes to Bantu Banti. The Dr. Edward A. and Beatrice C. Dukowski Medal and $500 grant for the student who best exemplifies the principles of St. John Baptist de La Salle and the Christian Brothers is awarded to Luke Berman. The John McShane Medal and $500 grant to the student who has worked hardest to bring credit to LaSalle College High School is awarded to Alexander Sorgini. The William A. Meehan, Esquire, Class of 1944 Award and $1,000 grant for outstanding community service goes to Nolan Krumenacker. The Class of 1973 Spirit Award and $1,000 grant for the student who has worked the hardest to promote a healthy sense of participation and enthusiasm for the full range of activities at LaSalle is awarded to Joseph DeSantis III. Congratulations, gentlemen. It is now my honor to introduce the president of LaSalle College High School, Brother James.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. Fike. For one last time, before I must henceforth call you alumni, I greet you as I did your freshman tie ceremony. As always, men of LaSalle College High School. Unbeknownst to you, we share the sense that this occasion is something of a personal milestone. For you, we know what it's all about. In my case, the recognition dawned upon realizing this graduation is my 40th as a teacher, the first having taken place across the campus in the Lourdes Grotto in 1983. While it's true that I have specific and fond memories of some classes from the 7 high schools where I've served, less so the 3 universities, should truth be told, about many of those 40 classes, I have few precise recollections. Life moves on, and an arriving freshman class begins the cycle anew. Not so in your case. 2 moments will be forever etched in my memory. Perhaps not iconic, but singular nonetheless. The first was the 6 a.m. dance party on Wednesday, May 11th, 2022. Club Meehan Field. Imagine my surprise and delight when I arrived uninvited about 6:30, only to find a crowd of 75 or 80, some tossing a rugby ball, some playing spike ball, most gathered in a circle, dancing, if you want to call it that. The real impression created was somewhere between a hot club in Chelsea where the bouncers walked out on strike and a Saturday night in hell. DJ Groufit at the turntable. The second memory is earlier chronologically. It was the next to last period of the day. Whatever that is now, 5th, 11th, 7th over the cosine of 30 degrees. I received urgent texts from Mr. Fike and Mr. Sorelli encouraging me to come over to school. Not because some incipient rebellion had broken out, my moral authority needed to quell it. No. It was because a group of seniors were in the chapel, gathered around the piano, singing, accompanied by Mateo Diaz on the keyboard, the only real talent in these stories. Don't get bitter, guys, get better. They crooned a few of the century's greatest pop hits. At least 15 joined in the sing-along. Quirk robust enough back then to persevere through the entire performance. A plausible name for the group might be the Warriors of Troy, partially because Henry appeared to be the lead singer, but also since the results turned out equally well for those precursors when a big wooden horse knocked on the front door late one night. I was shocked when one of the songs Mateo could play from memory, and all could sing, so to speak, was the 2009 tweener anthem, Fireflies. Shocked and appalled, in fact, because that is my least favorite song in the whole wide world. Going back to the time when an ancient caveman first stretched a dried animal skin across a hollowed-out gourd to make music. My apologies if there's a new woke term for caveman, because I just haven't learned it yet. But no apologies for hating Owl City, whether that be a person, group, aviary, or metropolis. I'm sorry, but fixating on an infestation of nocturnal insects just isn't a fit source of musical inspiration. A couple of lines from that song, oddly, are quite apropos today. At one point, Mr. City says, "I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly." Well, old Raptor, it doesn't. Gentlemen, while the days of your COVID confinement may have moved with excruciating slowness, your 4 years of LaSalle have not. The little boy who needed help mid-ceremony on orientation day tying that tie will probably only rock neckwear next year if a pledge requirement exists. Before you know it, an internship will become a job. Perhaps then, the tie will be back when a nurturing older colleague informs you the executive chairman doesn't approve of business casual. A few more spins of the planet Earth, and you'll be the executive chairman yourself, or hear people referring to you as General Wakefield, Chief Justice Hayden, or Edward, Cardinal Donovan. I like to think that your team-building introduction remarks following that designation will include a paragraph that opens, "I attended LaSalle College High School outside Philadelphia, and there I came to understand." In the banal refrain of Fireflies, the performer observes, "I'm weird because I hate goodbyes. I got misty eyes as they said farewell." Well, sorry, my strigiform friend. That reference is only for Fike. While obvious and plentiful reasons enumerate why you're weird, this isn't one of them. It's perfectly normal to hate the goodbyes occasions like today entail. Certainly, fate has given your class one especially good reason to scorn them. But, as our faith tried to instruct us throughout last fall's devastating challenges, even the most unheralded and unwelcome goodbyes are neither permanent nor impervious to the strivings of the human spirit. So will it be when Adrianson and Hines win one of those endless series of awards media professionals can collect. Then hold it heavenward for a brief private moment, thinking, look at me now, Blake. The connections will even come to include new people. The wife of one or another of you explaining to her mother, Blake was the name of his friend who died in school. I like it for the new baby, too. It's simple and strong. But that's the future. For the present, be sure of one thing. Though you will not cross paths with some here today again, you are not leaving LaSalle College High School. You are not saying goodbye to LaSalle. After 4 years of aspiration and effort, unfamiliarity and reticence evolved into camaraderie, elevated to brotherhood by the end. The path you chose was lit by teachers, among whom appeared a few wisdom figures you will quote years into the future. Annealed by tragedy, but not bowed by it, sustained by such brotherhood and faith, you cannot just leave LaSalle. Gentlemen, you are LaSalle. God bless you always, LaSalle.
Brother James and Mr. Fike, the class of 2022 seated before you has completed the program of studies in fulfillment of our graduation requirements. On the recommendation of the faculty, I present them to you to receive their diplomas.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Board of Trustees of LaSalle College High School, and the recommendation of the administration and faculty, a diploma of graduation is conferred upon each member of the class of 2022 who has successfully completed the prescribed program of studies of LaSalle College High School.
At this time, we will call up students by their homeroom. Please hold your applause until all of the students within each homeroom are recognized. Will Mrs. Carly Harbison and the members of homeroom 1D please come forward? Andrew Acker. Joseph Adams. Liam Addison. Kyle Adrianson. Brendan Agnew. Richard Alessandrini. Amir Anderson. Kenneth Angelikis. Nicholas Araco III. Aaron Armstrong. Garrett Baczynski. Bantu Banti. Brandon Baquero. Blake Barklage. James Barton III. Luke Berman. Joshua Lloyd. Finn Loftus. George Lynch III. Maximus Modalo. Timothy Madden. Matthew McGarity. James Mahan. Aiden Mann. Dominic Martin. Henry Marzarella. Zachary Matthews. Andrew Mattia. Lucas McCabe. Samuel Perry. Congratulations, gentlemen. Will Mr. Terrence Gillespie and the members of Homeroom 2D please come forward? Lucas Burns. Michael Butler. Kyle Caliendo. Sean Campbell. Ryan Carr. Abdul Carter. Raymond Casal Jr. Kenneth Chang. Matthew Choate. Luke Ciccolella. Matthew Ciccolella. Brendan Coggins. Matthew Cohen. James Cole. Ryan Moore Jr. Matthew Morrow. John Mullaney. Adon Murray. Luke Murray. Robert Murray V. RJ Nedzwecki. John Negro. Devin Newell. Brendan Wynn. Emmanuel Nkrumah. Darren Nolan. Kevin Nolan. Gavin O'Connell. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Simon Pinder and the members of Homeroom 3D please come forward? Edward Donovan. Garrett Dotcher. Francis Doherty. Owen Doherty. Bodan Doyle. Michael Dukissis. Matthew Dyer. Justin Eney. Nicholas Esposito. Chase Evans. Antonio Fabrizio. Benjamin Fall. Joshua Fayette. Timothy Fiedler. Patrick Fisher. William Pickering. Jack Pilling. Julian Pinkney. Liam Pluck. Alexander Palawota. Luke Palasi. Braden Potterjoy. Kevin Pritchett. Nerio Prosperi III. Brendan Purvis. Michael Quigley. Michael Quirk. Christopher Rafferty. Liam Reagan. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mrs. Lastinia Breen and the members of Homeroom 4D please come forward? Ryan Gregg. Keegan Grimes. Timothy Grossi. Hayden Grosso. Brady Guerin. Douglas Gaida. Emery Goldalian. Jefferson Hadson Taylor Jr. Alexander Harkins. Charles Harrington. Theodore Harrison. Tegan Harvey. John Hassan. Kevin Hawley. Matthew Sasso. Brendan Schaefer. Keenan Schneider. Brian Seaman Jr. Charles Albert Seawright III. Connor Cyberlick. Brian Sr. Matthew Sherry. Luke Schisler. Declan Smith. Patrick Smith. Joseph Solana. Alexander Sorgini. Giancarlo Sperduto. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Jason Isley and the members of Homeroom 5D please come forward? Patrick Jakubik. Dalton Janisek. Ethan Jappy. Edward Geithner. Sean Jennings. Dennis Johnson. James Johnston. Ethan Jones. Kevin Kell. Andrew Kelly. Edward Kelly III. Matthew Kelly IV. Mohammed Khan. Andrew Thompson. Henry Troy. Owen Valinas. Thomas Vandegrift. Nicholas Verano. Aiden Vesky. Michael Vitale. Nicholas Vitello. Colin Wade. Colin Wakefield. Matthew Walker. Ethan Walls. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Paul Quinn and the members of homeroom 6D please come forward? Timothy Bauer. Sean Bethel. Brandon Blythe. Daniel Boyd. Emmett Boyle. Michael Boyle. Francis Braccio. Timothy Brandt. Aiden Bretschneider. Zachary Brill. Gavin Brook. Kellen Broomhead. Samuel Brown V. Quinn Buck. William McCluskey. Liam McDonough. Daniel McFillin. Kyle McHugh. Ryan McHutchison. Emmett McLaughlin. Finnegan McManus. Sean McManus. Brett McNally. Ryan McPaul. Samuel McShane. Reynold McWilliams. Connor Melman. Michael Menti. Brennan Miller. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Thomas Devlin and the members of homeroom 7D please come forward? William Call. Kyle Connor. Thomas Convey. Luke Corcoran. John Curitan. Christian Deichler. Timothy Damasco. Christopher Del Plato. Joseph Nicholas DeSantis III. Mateo Diaz. Michael Dieno. Michael Diorio. Rocco DePed. Keegan O'Donnell. James O'Malley IV. Jack O'Neill. Peter Oppenheimer. Jacob Overton. Jordan Pacuris. Evan Palumbo. Joel Paludis. Alan Paterzo. Jonathan Perkins. Francis Perry IV. Christian Pedinato. Jonathan Piano. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Patrick Heasley and the members of Homeroom 8D please come forward? Francis Fix. Daniel Ford. TJ Foster. Eric Fryer. Sean Fuchs. Nicholas Gambone, Jr. Matthew Geib. Justin Getty. Luke John Francesco. Jack Gibson III. Dominic Giorno. Raymond Gomez. William Gomez. Patrick Grady. Luke Rambo. Brian Ramos Leva. Dominic Randazzo. William Rao. Robert Ray. Michael Reed. Peter Riley. Jonathan Repko. Anthony Reza. Anthony Rivers Jr. Michael Robertson. Michael Robles. Noah Ross. Peter Salduti. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Owen Shugsta and the members of Homeroom 9D please come forward? Timothy Hayden. Drew Henry. Sean Heron. Charles Hetz. Tyler Hill. Charles Huber. Otto Huber. Cole Hudak. Charles Huntley. Braden Hines. Jalen Ivy. Kofi Jackson. Nicholas Jackson. Jake Squalero. Jacob Stevens. Ryan Stewart. Santiago Sturla. Brendan Sullivan. Brian Sundheim. Harrison Schweitzer. Owen Tatlong Harry. Lawrence Thiel. Christopher Thompson. Tristan Thompson. William Thompson. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Jack Mills and the members of Homeroom 10D please come forward? Evan Knox. Peter Conyers. Colin Kress. Brendan Krug. Nolan Krumenacker. Colin Kuzborski. Matthew Kuhn. Connor Kwok. Joseph Lacka. Benjamin Lawler. Dean Leader III. Alex Lemlin. Luke Snell. Edward Wentz. Zachary Whiting. Daniel Widdock. Robert Willard. Christopher Williams. Evan Williams. Christopher Wennick. James Wolfe. Jake Yuskovich. Robert Zappolo. Michael Zavatsky. Jake Zook. Congratulations, gentlemen.
I just want to recognize one of the young men that are sitting there. Congratulations, Joe Cole. There you go, Joe. Congratulations.
Good morning and welcome, Brother James Butler, Principal Fike, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, coaches, members of the class of 1972, friends, family, but most importantly, my brothers, the class of 2022. When I was given the opportunity to possibly speak at graduation, I thought about it for maybe half a second. Not because I enjoy speaking in front of hundreds of people, and I did not know exactly what I wanted to say, but I knew in my heart I wanted one final opportunity to translate my sentiments about Salle College High School in our past 4 years. I believe I owe it to my brothers sitting before me today to say something that I hope means something to them and possibly all fellow graduates. Class of 2022, how did we get here? Can you picture yourself as a freshman and all the ideas that you had for yourself as a senior? Are you the person that you expected yourself to be? Did you surprise yourself? All these surprises, all these experiences that seemed insignificant in the times in which they occurred, these are what have made up our high school experience. Those moments that took courage, those moments where we pushed through when we didn't think we could make it, every single moment where we look back and think, wow, I actually did that. Those realizations are what have made LaSalle a place that is truly special and unique. While reflecting on these past 4 years, I was trying to think of a highlighted event to center the speech around, but I realized there was no single event to capture our 4 years at LaSalle. It would be easy to reminisce about the PCL titles, school plays, silent nights, Kairoses, our newly crowned state champion rugby team, and various other school events. But what I have witnessed over these past 4 years is that we as a class have created a closely tied community where students have unified over our failures and successes, shortcomings, and strengths. Our class is just another example of the continued LaSallian brotherhood. Although calling the men around you brothers seemed far-fetched 4 years ago as naive freshmen, it is indefinitely true now. Whether you participate in robotics, act in theater, perform in music, or gut it out in sports, every passion and interest is championed at LaSalle. No matter the area of expertise, LaSalle always finds a way to be at the top. In August of 2018, we began to navigate a new course for us all, high school. Many of us were anxious and few felt bold. New curriculums, new schedules, new faces, and new teachers. I can say with confidence there were moments where I felt like life was impossible during that first week. Change and flexibility seemed to be a continuous theme for our class over these past 4 years. In high school, many things tend to change right before our eyes, and it isn't always slow and subtle. Learning how to endure unpredictable challenges because of change around you is an important lesson LaSalle has taught us all. I'm not talking about just surviving. We thrived as a class. That's what this graduation is all about. Our victory for reaching the finish line at Salle College High School and accepting all of the changes we were presented in the past 4 years. We witnessed a change of leadership. After many years of service and dedication, Mr. O'Toole retired, and we welcomed a familiar face, Mr. Fike, as our new leader. As luck would have it, by my senior year, he became my dreaded Friday 6 a.m. morning basketball opponent. I can't speak for every high school student, but I don't know many principals that would play basketball that early in the morning with their students. But to tell you the truth, I never had a chance. I mean, seriously, did you think he was going to call a foul on himself? The question I'm asked often is why LaSalle? I can't answer that for everyone, but I can say for me, it's a place to ask questions to learn. At LaSalle, everyone has stories to tell you and things to teach you. Teachers and coaches wear multiple hats. They deliver their daily lessons, but always remember to cultivate a double meaning, the label on our textbooks and the lessons of life. The language department challenged us on how to learn a secondary language, but also introduced us to the beauties of culture, customs, and traditions in our world. Mr. Cipolla taught me how to think, but also how to live passionately and to the fullest. Mr. Butt explained the anatomy of the body, but also encouraged me to be a diligent worker with a goal in sight. Mr. Hardy instructed me on how to write an effective essay, but to also be quick-witted and never fail to be humorful. And for me personally, during these past 4 years, my coaches taught me the X's and O's on how to win on the field, but more importantly, and what I will take forth, extends far beyond the out-of-play line. They challenged me to identify, leverage, and highlight my strengths. That smart preparation always pays forward, and knowing and believing that grit is an essential ingredient in the blending of passion and perseverance in the classroom, on the field, and in life. Early in my time at LaSalle, a very special teacher referenced a metaphor to me that I found particularly insightful. He said, "Charlie, always remember to water your flowers, not your weeds." Like my original self, some of you might not discern the message from strictly hearing it, but let me explain. I learned the weeds represent the possible faults and downfalls in life, and the flowers represent the possible triumphs and positives of life. Remember to stop wasting your time and effort on what could go wrong in situations or relationships, but instead be bold and confident in believing all the things that are possible. Simply stated, stop being afraid of what can go wrong and start being excited about what will go right. These nonchalant conversations that occur between students and faculty are a symbol of LaSalle's mission: to always be learning, teaching, serving, and improving. Every teacher that walks these hallways with us has given us an education of academic value, but has also enriched us with the knowledge on how to live life. I reflect on freshman year and how different I am today, but also how dissimilar we are as a class. Although not being able to imagine walking in different hallways and sitting in different classrooms, life will move on and it will happen. That's why it's important to acknowledge that LaSalle isn't just this building on 8605 Cheltenham Ave, but it's the people. It's the people for those like you and me. It's the people that will go on to make the world a better place, and it's the people who will put forth unwavering effort in all aspects of their life. To be honest with everyone, when I sat down to write this speech, I wanted to avoid talking about everything we missed as a class because of COVID. Virtual classrooms replaced in-person learning, and masks became a new fashion accessory. Losing a portion of our time at LaSalle to a global pandemic was not what we had planned, and I feel confident saying the administration didn't plan it either, but it did not derail our plans to reach the finish line. It was an experience that will affect our lives forever and a memory that we will never, ever forget. We'll continue to experience things and make memories every day that mold us to who we truly are and who we are meant to become. COVID forced us to face a multitude of barriers with our unrelenting will to succeed. Standing here today, despite all the setbacks and obstacles, because of our drive, our perseverance, our willpower is stronger than any deterrent. This pandemic was not the defining event for our class. Don't let it be. Guided by the leadership of LaSalle, we triumphed as a group, and we learned to face the global challenges of our time with courage and optimism. However, our faith and belief in God was tested last October 30th. The way life can change instantly is hard to comprehend sometimes, but we as a class gathered to celebrate the life of our brother, Blake Barklage. Blake's death was sudden, but his life was not faint. I consider myself fortunate to have been in Blake's homeroom, and I quickly learned over the years he had all the right trappings: his warmth, his wit, and he radiated happiness and positivity. May Blake remain a blessing to us all who knew him and loved him, gone from our sight, but always in our hearts. Now, before I end, on behalf of my fellow graduates, I must say thank you to a special group of people who mean so much to us all and made today a reality: our parents, guardians, grandparents, family, and friends who feel like family. Thank you for your unconditional support, financially and emotionally, and the countless sacrifices over the last 4 years. You have bestowed on us a gift, a LaSalle education, rich in tradition and history. We are forever grateful and blessed. Thank you to LaSalle for your unwavering devotion. On behalf of my classmates, I can state with truth and conviction, we are leaving you better than you found us. Wiser, resilient, more compassionate, and reoriented with greater purpose. To my brothers, I ask this of you all. As you go forward in your life, whether you're heading to college or simply wherever the wind takes you, remember to do so with an open mind and a full heart. We've been on an epic journey at LaSalle, which at times meant tragedy and periods of hopelessness, but also astonishing achievement and growth. LaSalle has taught us to be ready for whatever the world throws at you and keep going, because contrary to what the world keeps trying to tell you, you don't need to have all the answers right now. Life is a learning curve, not a test. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Our class has endured a lot in our 4 years here, but don't let that weigh you down. Let it push you forward, and let it be what helps you make this world a better place. I encourage you all to think big and dream large. Your options are many. May you always know your self-worth, the utterly amazing men that you are, the pure potential that lives within each of you, and continue to commemorate the LaSalle Brotherhood we have created together. I can't wait to see where life leads you all, but for now, congratulations to the LaSalle College High School class of 2022.
St. John Baptist de LaSalle. Live Jesus in our hearts.